What's on, guys? So today I thought I'd do like something a little bit different. A lot of you guys have been asking for these kind of sit down talking workout videos where I just talk about shit, talk about my training, talk about what I'm doing and my progress and stuff like that. So I thought I hadn't done one in literally, it's probably been like 6 months to a year was the last time I did one of these. I thought I'd do one, just kind of see how it goes and just give you some shit. So today we're hitting week 2 on my 8-week program. It's going to be a chest, tricep and shoulder session. It's called back hypertrophy day because basically what I do in terms of my training is I'll train every muscle group twice a week. I'll have like a higher volume hypertrophy day where you're like really killing it, really intense, high volume. And then I'll also have like a more heavy, lower rep kind of day as well. So I'm alternating between high volume and heavier kind of more powerlifting stuff in a daily undulating periodization. Just because for me, like I get very bored from doing the same thing all the time. It keeps it fun, it's good for your progress, and I just love it. So that's what I do. Right, if you don't recognize the environment behind me as well, it's because I'm not actually at my house. I'm at Lauren Fitness's house in London. You guys probably know her. Me and Brandon basically just randomly crashed here for a night, like out of nowhere. We're in London and nowhere to stay. If you notice as well, the quality might be a bit weird, or I'm currently shooting on a fisheye. It's because I'm shooting on the prime, and I mean absolute creme de la creme GoPro 3 Black Edition. So we are at the OG gym, that is Bude Gym. If you guys watched my like first ever video that I uploaded on this channel, I used to train in this gym. This is back in my parents' house in Bude. I'll be going back here soon, but this is like the mecca for me. Anyway, let's get on with it. So this is my week 2 push hypertrophy day, push hypertrophy. And this is basically everything that I do, how I do it, my progress, and just kind of how things are going really, and just a little bit of talking shit, like I said. So let's get going. Right, so basically the first 2 exercises that I do are always a warm-up. Or the first 2, 3, 4 exercises I do are always a warm-up. Warming up is just like super important to prevent injury. I've actually like injured myself quite badly from not warming up, so I always do it just because if you injure yourself, you're not going to be able to train properly. So here I'm doing some like CrossFit lying rotator cuff rotations, and the reason I do these is just to increase mobility in my shoulders. Like I had a really bad shoulder injury. If you're an OG subscriber, you remember when I didn't train for like 6 months, my chest, because I hurt my rotator cuff. I went to a physiotherapist, she gave me these exercises to do, and she was like, at the start of every session, do these with like a 3 kilogram dumbbell, like 5-6 pounds, super lightweight, 12 reps each side, and just really try and increase the mobility in the shoulders by like stretching them out. And sure enough, I did it. My shoulder got better, and like I'm like resolving that imbalance between shoulders. So basically just going into the app, opening up the program I'm going to follow. If I have like no idea what I'm speaking about on this, it's because I recorded it like a week ago and I can't actually remember what the exercises were, which is pretty good because I've got a program to follow. But yeah, so that might be why I'm talking shit. So we've got everything there, super easy to track your weights, track your reps. Look at that face, look at that jawline, Tom phoning me. And warm-up number 2 is going to be, it's like these lat pull down with scapular retractions. You might be saying, Mo, why are you doing these on chest day? When you're benching, you want to have your scapula retracted, so you're like driving through your chest and triceps rather than shitty shoulders forwards, hunchback of Notre Dame style. So on those, I'm literally just doing like squeezing my shoulder blades together for 2 reps. And then on the 3rd rep, I'll do a full lat pull down. With the pull down, I'll squeeze my shoulder blades together just to kind of activate the muscles, get a feel for that retraction, and know what I'm doing. So like on this bench, as you can see here, my shoulder blades are pinned back. Right, so I did a warm up with like 10 kilogram dumbbells for 20 reps. Now I'm up to 34 kilograms, 32 kilograms here, I believe. And this is my first working set. So I'm hitting about 15 reps, shoulders nice and far back. And then I'm gradually increasing the weight, downing the reps very slightly as I do in increments. So set number 2, like this was an absolute grind, man. Like I'm starting to feel it. I had a week in London where I didn't train properly. I just trained like arms and back every day or some crap like that. I lost so much strength, but I'm trying to grind out. I think it was 12 reps here, and it was a struggle, man. This is like 35 kilos, I think. The numbers on the weights are wrong because they don't account for like the little bar in the middle. But yeah, that was a grind. So normally what I'd do is I'd stop like a few sets of failure and then leave it at that. But if I'm not getting the reps, I will like have to get the reps. So I'll make sure my form stays good, but I will like do everything it takes to get those reps on that last set. Absolute failure always on last set for me, or well, 90% of the time anyway. So exercise number 2 is something to hit. We are kind of hitting upper chest here, but this is mostly a shoulder exercise. Shoulder compound, so hitting all parts of the shoulders, and that's just seated shoulder press. So I do this with barbell and dumbbell, I alternate. And starting off with bar, warming up again, even though I'm probably warm, just to get like a feel for the movement, how I want the bar to move before there's any weight on it. And then I'll actually start my working sets once I've like got the feel for the movement and warmed up a little bit. So first set, I'm hitting about 12 reps on these 4 sets, smashing it out. I like to go and touch my chest. Like I don't, on bench press, I'll always touch my chest, but on these, towards the end, if I'm just to get the reps, sometimes I'll go like an inch shy of the bar touching my chest. So I don't really want to go to failure on the first, second, or third sets. Like I said, only go to failure for me on the last ones really, or on isolation exercises, like I'll go to failure on all sets, but the compounds, I don't really go to failure, just because it's a bit risky. Like, bruh, I look juicy from this angle. So I think we added a little bit more weight, and then I'm repping again. He's repping again. And this was a struggle, man. Like week by week, it's just getting harder. As you drop weight, you lose strength as well. So it is a struggle. Like I started, when I was with Dave, I think we're benching, or I think we're shoulder pressing like 90, 80, 90, 1.5 plates, 80 kilograms. And like here, I've got like, what, 1 plate each side, and I'm like absolutely freaking dying. Right, exercise number 2, we got some chest isolation, so we got some pec deck. What I like to do on these ones is I like to sit there and put an arch in my back, so you're not flat against the pec deck, so you've got a bit of an arch, and then pin your shoulders back, and then pull through with your chest. You want to imagine, I like to imagine that rather than pulling my hands together on flies, I'm actually pulling my elbows together, and that way, like by imagining I'm pulling my elbows together, keeping my shoulders back, pushing my chest down, emphasizing that contraction on my chest, and just the pump is so good. Like another little trick I like to do is I like to drive through with this part of your hands. I was watching a Jeff Nippard video, and basically if you drive through with like your thumbs rather than the bottoms of your hands, you're meant to get better chest activation. So I quite like doing it like that just because, but yeah. Right, so I'm hitting about 12 reps on this, but if I can get more easily, I will get more. If like 12 reps is an absolute struggle, I'll go like just below 12. Rep ranges are just like a guide really, guys, so it's not like something you have to essentially follow. But as you can see in this one, like I've got that arch in my back, and I'm like really focusing the contraction on my chest. So smashing those ones out, and we're actually gonna hit a drop set. So I go to absolute failure in this last set, run around the back, drop the weight down, probably about 40% of it off, and then just go to failure again until I'm like absolutely dying, man. Dude, I got traps in this. What's going on? I got traps. Right, so now I'm gonna hit cable flies as kind of like one of the last chest exercises. Like generally what I do is I'll hit 5 chest exercises, 2 shoulder specific exercises, and then 2 tricep specific exercises as well. And on these ones, I'm getting like, as I progress through the workout, the reps are getting higher, the volumes, the intensity is going up. And what I'm doing is like, I quite like to do these chest flies with the cables up high, as you can see, and then bend down below them just so I can really feel that squeeze on my chest. Again, you want your shoulders like pinned back behind you, so you can chest out, shoulders back always, just so you're emphasizing contraction on that muscle group. So here I've gone to failure, like done as many reps as I can, and now no rest, dropping the weight down because this is the final set, and doing another drop set. So the weight's quite light on these. I'm just really going to focus on squeezing my chest together, that mind-muscle connection. And again, like I find these real good if you imagine that your arms or your chest is following your elbows. So you're pushing your hands down, but just don't think about your hands moving the weight. Think about your kind of elbows moving the weight and bringing your chest in together. That's what works for me anyway. But dude, this is hard. This is nasty. Like the sweat from this session was very high. So I also alternate between dumbbells, cables, and barbells as well. And what we're doing now is we're doing a superset. So this one gets pretty hard. We're basically doing cable lat raises, superset with front raises, and then we're going supersetting straight away with front raises. So these things are savage. These are absolutely savage. But the pump is next level, and like in terms of like lat raises, I think it is one of the best exercises to build delts. Like a seated press and lat raises. If you want that like wide, broad shoulder look, those are the ones to be doing. Like I just love them to bits. Such a fun movement to do, and like there's no pump as alpha as a shoulder pump. Right, so final chest exercise, and I've started doing this one recently, but they are so damn good, man. They look CrossFit as hell, but who gives a shit? If you get results from it, literally, it's just, we only care about results. We don't care what people think. So these are flat dumbbell isometric holds. I was actually meant to do them on an incline, I think, to hit the upper chest a little bit more, but I forgot. So what you're doing is, you know, when you start a rep on like bench press or anything, what you're basically doing is you're going to the bottom of the rep where you're contracting the muscle, where you're contracting your chest, and you're just holding a weight there. And it is hard. I try and do these for about 2 sets, hold them for about a minute. On these ones today, I picked like a too heavier weight, and it was killing me. I'm looking back behind me as well, because like a clock behind me and trying to time myself. I'm trying to go for a minute, but I don't get it just because it is way too heavy. So what you want to do is literally just at the bottom of the movement, you just sit there and you just squeeze your chest like an absolute motherfucker. You want your shoulders pinned back so you're not putting too much tension like unnecessarily on your shoulders, but you just sit there and squeeze. And the idea is that increasing the time under tension, just holding that weight on our chest, you get that build up in metabolites as well, responsible for growth, and you're just sitting there like absolutely dying, feeling like the worst pain in the world. But after you've done it, and if you do it right, you want to have those shoulders back, you want to have your chest pushed out, you want to be squeezing your chest, not the weight on your shoulders. You want to be focusing on your chest. You will have like the juiciest chest pump going. All right, so last of all, what we're doing is we are hitting triceps. So we're doing an isolation exercise that only hits the triceps as a muscle group. We basically hit everything else, and we just want to focus on this one muscle group. So we're starting off with about 15 reps, and what I'll do is increase the weight and decrease the sets as we go on. It's all in the guide, like how many reps and sets to do and shit like that. But if I can't actually get the lower rep range, I'll just stick at the same weight rather than increasing it. But if you can see, guys, what I like to do is I like to sometimes support my other arm with the hand behind, just because it takes I find it takes any tension off your shoulders. If I do it one-handed completely sometimes, I'm moving my shoulder a little bit and some of the force is transferred actually into my shoulder rather than into my tricep. So I just have that few fingers there, not to really make it easier, but just to like support me and make sure the focus is really on the tricep rather than other muscle groups. So we did those for about 3 sets, and then we go on to some push downs. Like, I have a love-hate relationship with these. So I was meant to do them with ropes, but we didn't have those today, so we're just hitting them with like a V-bar. The hand position is basically the same, and I'm hitting the same rep range. So I'm just doing a couple of sets on these, about 15 reps, and you guessed it, final set is gonna be a drop set. So all till failure. The last exercise as well, final set was as many reps as possible, so till failure. But what we're doing on these guys, basically, I see so many people going wrong, is you wanna stand there with your scapula retracted, so your shoulders back. You don't want to be like hunchback of Notre Dame style, pushing that weight down like a dumb motherfucker. You want the shoulders back, you want that chest out, you want your arms tucked in by your sides to really focus on your triceps. You want to only be moving the part of your arm that is involved in contracting your triceps. But you want to be going up so your arms are around 90 degrees, not too far up, and then you want to push down and squeeze your tricep at the bottom of every rep. Yeah, so that was week 2. The program's going really well. Cut's going fairly well as well. I've just been like back up to London, up and down, up and down. I live like 4 hours away from London. I've just been all over the place at the minute, like super busy with social media, content creation, and it's just so hard to like keep training on point and keep cutting on point, especially when you're like hanging with guys like Andre, Brandon, and Labumba, who just want to train arms all the time. It's like, bro, I need to follow the program. So that's week 2 for my cutting guide. If you guys haven't got it or want to check it out, it's down in the box below. There's also like a Facebook group. So if you've brought the guide and you're not in the Facebook group, make sure you join that. It's in like the PDF how to join it, because it is dope. The community there is like legit as fuck, and it's just so cool being like with like-minded people and people all doing the same thing and like striving towards the same. It's just fucking awesome. I'm gonna cry. It's just awesome. I think that's everything. If you have any questions, comment below and I'll try and get back to as many of you guys as possible. Keep killing it, guys, and I'll see you in a few days' time.